said anywhere.
Well, hello there, Tamra here, and welcome to the Loft. I have the absolute pleasure of having these lovely ladies here on this morning to share about their success in education, balancing careers, being single parents, because it can be so tough. And I want each of them to introduce themselves. I am first, because I got to give my little shout out to my peeps. This is my lovely cousin Kyesha on the left-hand side from Philadelphia. And then
Hello.
we have to my right, it might be your left, so please excuse all of that. My niece Stefany from Philadelphia. And below we have the lovely Shannon from Philadelphia, my niece. And
Hey.
Nikia, my friend, my dear friend from over 30 years ago, high school. But don't tell nobody. Ladies, I just want to let y'all know from the door, I am so proud of you all. You have accomplished so much. And so many people out there think that when you're a single parent, it just stops. And that's why you all inspire me. You all have challenges, ups and downs, trials, tribulations, but y'all did that thing. And I just want y'all to tell a piece of your story and share what you want to share with our guest on this morning to let them know how you did it, how you overcame. And first, I want to start off with my cousin Kyesha and introduce yourself, young lady.
Well, hello. My name is Kyesha, as Tammy said, and I'm from Philadelphia. Um, so just to give you guys a little background, a little history, I am 36 years old. I have 3 degrees. They're all in education, and I have 2 children, 17 and 1. Don't ask questions. It was God's plan, okay? But with that being said, I graduated high school pregnant. And at that time, I didn't know what I wanted to do in terms of my career path because I felt as though being a teen mom, I was going to face a lot of challenges, and so forth, and I wasn't going to be able to be successful. Lo and behold, support, family, those 2 factors have played a very strong role in where I am today in terms of my career, and it helped shape me to be the mother and the parent that I am today. So without my family, and without the support system, it definitely, I don't think, would have played in my favor. And I have my grandmother who is no longer here, unfortunately. She was a stay-at-home mom. My grandfather was able to provide for her and 5 children, and Tammy and our other cousins and extended family. And then my Aunt Joyce, who's no longer here, unfortunately, she passed away as well, who was a school teacher. And at the time I had my son, she was retired. And things work out so crazy because she was the one who was like, no, you're not going to have no kids. You're too young. You have your whole life ahead of you at XYZ. But after I had my son, her and my son became like the best of friends. They went everywhere together. She would watch him all the time. I was a full-time student at community college. I wound up having my son in January of 2006. I started school January 17, 2007. I was able to go 2 years nonstop, get my associate's degree. And from there, I knew I wanted more. And it was a point in time where I applied for food stamps through welfare. And I never forget, I got an emergency supply of food stamps, and it was like 300 something dollars. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to eat good. Me and my mom went to the market. We got our food or whatever. And then when it came time for me to get the second disbursement of food stamps, instead of getting the disbursement, I got a letter in the mail like, yeah, you no longer qualify. And that hurt me. And I'm like, well, how the hell am I supposed to eat? Like, I'm going to eat one way or another. So I knew at that point I didn't want to have to rely on the system, and I damn sure didn't want to be another statistic. So by having the support of my family and, of course, the education at that point to back me up, being able to get my associate's degree, I knew I wanted more. I didn't want to stop. And again, with the help of my grandmother and my aunt, I was able to go and get an undergraduate degree while working a full-time job, being a full-time mom, and still trying to figure out what the heck I wanted to do with my career. Like, it's funny because I have 3 degrees in education and I am a social worker. So life has been lifing. Like I once said, like, it's not my plan. I think it's my plan, but it's really God's plan, right?
Amen.
Right. But from there, I didn't even want to go to school. I got my undergrad degree, and I'm like, okay, like I'm done. The buck is going to stop here for me. I'm kind of content with where I am with my life. And it wasn't until my cousin, who we're the same age, she had a child probably like a year before me. So she had her son at 16. I'm sorry, 17. I had my son at 18. She was in school. She was finishing up her undergrad degree. And I felt some kind of way because it's like you're putting all your time into going to school, and it's like you don't have time to party with me anymore. What the heck am I going to do? So at that point, she really motivated me to go back to school, and I wound up getting my graduate degree. And unfortunately, my grandmother and my aunt weren't here to witness that part of my journey. But at the end of the day, they played a major role, and I can't stress this enough. They definitely played a major role in where I am today. And I'm not discrediting like my mom or anything. My mom, she did work a full-time job as well, and she was here and she supported me as well in other ways. But that my mom couldn't work a full-time job and watch my child while I went to school full-time and worked a full-time job, you know. So that family support, community support, friend support, wherever you can find support from that you trust, go for it. Go for
Amen.
it.
Kyesha, Kyesha, that was Kyesha. that was awesome. I'm at a loss for words. That was fantastic. And I thank you for sharing your truth. Oh my gosh. I want to introduce you to Shannon because we talked about some stuff. She got a whole testimony. I can't wait for you to hear it because the way that y'all will connect. And y'all are in Philly, Nikia's in Jersey. There is no reason that y'all can't connect and get together because when you hear each other's stories, you're going to hear the similarities and it is powerful. This is a divine connection.
Mhm.
And you guys might be up on a platform somewhere sharing with some thousands of other people in the future. You never know. And but I encourage you to keep on doing what you're doing, lady, because you're doing your thing, and I'm so proud of you. And I know in my knower that Arlene and Joyce are too. My
Mhm.
God.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, we're gonna take it to my niece Stefany. Share a little bit about yourself, your testimony, young lady.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Stefany, and I am 33 years old. And as I'm listening to Kyesha's story, very powerful, very motivating, and similar. There's some similarities. So I was also I have 3 children currently, and my first child I was 18, about to graduate high school and family support was very critical. So my mom, she's definitely a rock.
Mm.
Just supported me, especially with Deshawn, which is my oldest child. So in high school, I was able to continue school and graduate, and she supported me in helping me raise him. And then I got a job in like social work, like the same job as her. Because I saw how hard that she worked. I saw what she did. I'm like, I want to help people too. So I wanted to work in the same field that she did. So as I got my first job, she was helping me with my first child, but also as Kyesha stated, was like, I want more. I need more, especially with like the systems and everything like that. just trying to make trying to make it a way to support my child at the time. So it was the first one. So wanting to go back to school and just to elevate, and to eventually, um, be independent and everything like that. And then moving forward, what is it, about 10 years later? I don't think the math is right, but I have my other baby. And I have a 2-year-old now, and then I have a 1-year-old. So a humongous gap, okay? And yeah, God definitely has a plan. um, so even with that, blessing by itself. And even when I had my second baby, I was in I still wanted to pursue the education. So at that time, I already had the bachelor's degree, and now I have my master's degree. Excuse me, I'm about to get my master's degree. So in February, I will be getting my master's degree.
Mm.
And that's more so just for wanting to be better, wanting to build, wanting to have a beautiful life for my children. And I don't want to I don't want to rely on the government for support. I want to be able to do it on my own and be able to have them in my children in a good school system, and for them just to live a better life. My life was good, of course, but to live even better. So that's where I'm at. Like, the focus is just elevation, and then also too supporting my kids, so they can always be good.
Amen. I am so proud of you.
Thank
And
you.
I love the fact that both of you have mentioned the support, because the support is key. And it's just like y'all are so honest and transparent about that. And that just does my heart glad. I'm so proud of you. You are doing such a phenomenal job of balancing act. And I know there is so much ahead for you because of your press and what you're doing and your determination. All of you on here, I just know it. And I just can't wait to see what the Lord is going to do next in your life. And now we're going to move to my niece, Shannon. I'd like you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your story.
Hi, so I am Shannon. I'm 35. I also live in Philadelphia. Um, I am going to start off by saying, following up on what Kyesha, and I'm sorry, I just that family and having that support does count tremendously when it comes to being a single parent, because without my support, I would be nothing. I would be nowhere. Basically, my story started when shortly after I graduated high school. I did a year off because I was like, I'm tired of school. I don't want to do school. I just want to, just live my life, have fun for a little while, because after you do those 12 years, you need a little bit of a break.
Yes.
Yeah, and during that time, I got involved in some things that I had no business getting involved in, and was like, okay, something's got to give. Some things ended up happening, which is a whole nother testimony in and of itself. So I won't get into it now because it's a little time consuming, but
you'll be
long
back.
story
Don't
short,
worry.
the result of that was my daughter. And her name is Imani. And I ended up pregnant with her, and I juggled with the thought whether or not to have her, because I was like, I have so many plans. I wanted to go to medical school at one point, and I said, I definitely can't do that and have a child. And no, absolutely not, especially because I know for a fact the father's not going to be involved. That's just insane. That would be stupid on my part. But then my heart was just like, no. And I don't want to get all religious, but God spoke to me and told me, have that child. So I had my child. I had a high-risk pregnancy. She was 4 months premature. She was due in February. She came in October. She was in the NICU for several months. She was breech before she came out. Everything about the whole scenario was just like, why didn't you just go ahead and do what you knew you wanted to do innately? But me being obedient, I had my child. Down the line, she turned 3. I found out that she was autistic. She got diagnosed with autism at 3, which was a venture because autistic children aren't typical children, so they don't act accordingly to how most children would act. And that blew my mind completely. So now raising a child by myself who's on the spectrum, I'm not even going to say by myself because, again, I had my family.
Right.
My mother was a pillar of this whole journey for me because she was the one that talked some sense into me and said, you are not alone in this. You're not alone in this. You don't have to do it by yourself. You have me, you have the rest of the family, you have God. You are good. And I didn't want to believe her at the time because I'm like, you just have no idea. You have no idea. But she was right. It made it a little bit smoother of a transition for me to continue on. Get the services put in place that needed to be put in place to help my daughter along the way. And then I said, I'm not going to give up on this dream to be in the medical field because I said medical school at first. I know that I have to be realistic about it. Medical school might not happen. But then nursing programs popped up. And I said, well, you know what? A nursing program might be the choice. So let me look into some nursing programs. Started looking into some nursing programs. I did my first one. I got my associates out in South University out in Georgia. And then I didn't finish all the way because I had to finish some more credits. But then I wasn't able to do that because then some other things came up. So I had to stop. And then my a practical nursing program fell into my lap. And I was like, well, practical nursing, no, I'm going for my RN. What is that about? So then I did some digging on that. And I went ahead and did the practical nursing program, which was a journey. It was a journey. Half of us was like, we didn't even come out looking like we did when we went in because it was rough. But we made it through. I actually graduated. I got my my degree. I got my license. Shortly after, about 3 months after, I took my NCLEX, passed on the first try. So I started my nursing journey, which was a whole nother beast. And then the pandemic hit shortly after. Had to work during the pandemic, which was very rough, very, very rough. But in all of that, the one thing that helped me was keeping my faith and holding on to my faith because it wavered a lot through that whole thing. I was like, am I meant to do this? I'm questioning myself. I'm questioning where I stand with my family, where I stand with God. I'm just like, why? You know you're not supposed to question, but I questioned and was like, why me? Why me? I had that question a lot of the times, why me? But I had to rely heavily on my faith and just keep moving forward. I have more plans down the line. Like Aunt Sam said, Kyesha, me and you need to talk because I do have a very keen interest on servicing my community and doing it in a way that it might not be ideal for most people, but I do have some ideas and I'm like now pushing towards that direction with community service and utilizing my nursing in that as well. But that's pretty much my story in a little in a little bit of a chunk for you.
Yeah, that was a story, a powerful story. And I thank you for being so transparent, Shannon. It is beautiful. You guys are just overwhelming. And I said in a positive way. And I said, because y'all are just holding that thing down. And it's like you had so much to overcome and you still did it and you're still doing it, and you do have so much more to you than the little minute piece that you shared, which was a lot. All of you have so much more to what you shared, and I'm gonna be having you back because we're gonna have many more topics in the future. But we're gonna, for time's sake, I'm gonna stop running my mouth because I'm just so excited. I'm like the mama bear, as they call me. But I want to take it to my dear, beautiful friend Nikia, and I want her to share about herself and her testimony.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nikia Wright, and it is really an honor to be here today. I am 48. My birthday is Sunday, which is the 12th of November, and I will be 49 years old, and I'm so excited about that. Um, so I appreciate all of you ladies sharing. We do have similarities, both victories and defeats, but that shows that we're overcomers, and I'm so happy to know that we're here to present that to the world. So my journey with college started right after high school. So I went on to college. I attended two different colleges. One was in Georgia. The second one was actually a HBCU, Virginia University, and I got pregnant the second semester being there. Um, the shame, the guilt, the embarrassment, all of those things above just really compelled me. And as far as the father was concerned, he wasn't supportive. And I kind of knew that I was pregnant. It was just like a resounding sound, like, you're pregnant. So I made up my mind that, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and have this baby. And I returned home back to Jersey at that particular time. And I was like, Lord, what am I going to do with my life? You know, I got to raise this baby. I don't have the support from the father, but my parents, they were and still are a very great support system, and they carried me through that. So during that time, after I birthed my daughter, she's 28, and about a year after her 1 year birthday, she had an active seizure. I didn't quite understand what it was. I had a very good neighbor that came through and realized what it was. So immediately we went to the hospital, and she came through it, thank God. But I decided that I wanted to do something with my life. I always have a drive to be better. I'm a life learner. And so I started going to a trade school, and I took up the CNA course. And so through that time, taking care of my daughter, she was diagnosed with epilepsy. And it's called an absent epilepsy because what was happening was she would be attentive to you, and I will be talking with her, and then within a few minutes, she's like staring at me, and I'm like, girl, why are you staring at me so hard? What's going on? But it kept happening consistently. And as a active mother in tune with their child, you're like, something is not right. So I went on to the hospital, and she had a neurologist that was taking care of her. The medication journey was hard. Um, I was traveling from where I live now in Bordentown to Camden to Cooper Hospital because, they're well known, and they were able to help her along the way. And all the time I'm going to school to become a CNA. I'm working at Walmart as a cashier. It was a very trying time, but God has always had my back, and I came through that. So I was a CNA for about 20 years. And I said, I feel like I could just go ahead to the next level, which is going in as a LPN or RN, looking to the LPN program. And I actually took the exam at Lincoln Tech, and I passed it. But life got really strange, and I could not afford it, let alone just the scheduling was just going to be too much. And they kept pursuing listen, you're not going to be able to work. And I'm like, well, I have to work because I don't have any other resources to live off of. So time passed forward. I went on and I started taking my prerequisite classes at a community college for, the goal was to become an RN. I was able to graduate and I received my associate's degree. I pursued the testing to go ahead and enter in the nursing entrance exam, and I kept failing. And I, came to a point like, well, maybe I should just take a break because I've been on go from the beginning with my educational journey. I've had a child. She's considered under special needs because of her disability. Maybe I just need to work for a minute, and that's what I did. And so life went on. I continued to be a CNA. I decided to look into other areas that I could work in except a nursing home as a CNA. So I decided to work with a company called Neuro Restorative, and they worked with patients who had I believe it's TMI. I'm not correct with it, but I think it was traumatic brain injury. That's what it was, TBI. And they were adult, independent. You work with them, um, and just kind of make them independent, where they didn't rely so much on their disability, but to getting to know themselves as a person. So that was a challenging time. And I did that for a year and I got fired from there. And I was just like, okay, what is going on? What am I going to do with myself? So um, I said, well, I'm going to go and look into this other school. And it was it was fast paced. Nursing is fast paced, number one. You can't get around that. But I went to the exam, and the first time they said, when you take the exam, you don't have to pay for it. You pass it, you're in. Don't study for it. Just go with on your basic knowledge and go on from there. I took the exam and I didn't pass by 2 points. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I go and I purchase the book and I start studying. And this time I did worse than the first time. So I'm driving home and I'm like, God, are you just really like sending me an assignment? I'm not going to be in nursing. Like I'm good with that. Just give me a sign, just because I feel like I'm just running on E. I have no more momentum to do this anymore. And so I left that alone and I started working at Amazon. And I've worked at Amazon for 6.5 years. And they have a career program. And for the longest, I really did not know which direction to go. I had given up the desire to be in a nurse, but I felt like there is something out here that I need to do. And so I worked, I think about up to 4 years. My fourth year, I said, I feel like I need to do something. And they had a listing of every category you could think of for areas of study. And I noticed that they had the IT. I never see myself as a person that really was really tech savvy. I had a knowledge of it, but I wasn't thinking towards making it something that I will want to become, in a career. I prayed about it, went on, continued working there, and through conversation with two young ladies, I mentioned to them, you know, Amazon is providing the service and I want to be part of this program. I want to take advantage because they're going to pay 95% of my tuition. And that's great. I don't have to worry about tuition. And I just need something to do with my life. Through that conversation, it blurted out. It just flew out my mouth. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and do the IT. And I looked at myself like, where did that come from? So I signed up and I took my title is Information Security Analyst, which is under the umbrella of cybersecurity. And did something very different. The pandemic hit, and I decided to take on online courses. So the first trial of me going to college, it was commute. I'm good with that because I can raise my hand, I can ask questions. No, online was a whole different beast for me. I thought I still had the same momentum. Decided to take two courses. Like, I got this. Two courses is not bad. That's just like 9 credits, no problem. Girl, let me tell you, it was a problem. Trying to juggle that. I worked 10-hour days at Amazon. And, as you ladies know, you have two different special times in a year where you're able to acquire discounts, like we call it the peak time, but the prime time. And you had to actually work a fifth day, sometimes 10 hours, or a fifth day, 11 hours. So I'm juggling that as well as doing online courses. And I feel like I want to pull all my hair out. I cried so much. I looked at my laptop like I'm going to throw it across this room because I cannot do this. But I had to say, listen, I can't give up. I signed up for this. I'm committed. This is a new direction for me. I'm transitioning. So transitioning from the mindset of thinking like a nurse to now thinking like a tech was a challenge. But after that first quarter, because they did it quarterly, I realized, okay, I'm going to just do one course at a time. And so that's what I did. And I was able to do a lot better with my studying, my time management, and all these things. And at that particular time, they were only allowing you to either acquire an associate's degree or a certification within a technical school. So I have two associates. One is Associate of Science and Liberal Arts, and current one is Associate of Arts. So I am graduated last year, and I thank God that I made it through, and I'm able to share that, among the masses today to say, single mothers, we have a special place in God's heart, I feel like, because the resources that were coming was was amazing. He directed me, gave me wisdom to realize, okay, there's grants out here. There's Pell Grants. I got Pell Grants. Then I was able to acquire grants through certain organizations. So I was able to have that as another income while I was in school. I also was on food stamps as well. And like I don't remember who said it, but they were mentioning something along the way that you didn't want to rely on the government. That was one of my goals. Like, I do not want to rely on the government. And then at the time I was on child support, I didn't want to rely on child support to be another source of income. So I wanted my independence and to build legacy. So I am not currently in cybersecurity, but I am building my portfolio right now and studying for my certification so that I can get my foot in the door. But in the meantime, I'm just preparing myself as far as staying up with all what is going on, as we're aware of the AI era is here, recognizing
Yes.
those things, being a part of various groups so that I can keep up with the jargon of what technology is doing because it is evolving quickly. So, yeah, again, just to sum it up, I want to take all the time, but I've learned a lot along the way. I've learned a lot about myself, my self-esteem, um, realizing I can't pour from an empty cup. There were times where I could not do my homework. I would take at least one day out of the week to say I'm not doing any homework because I just needed the information to register in my mind and I needed to pour back into me what all the virtue that I was giving out, as a mother, as a student, as an employee, and etc. So I thank God for this platform today, and being able to share my life journey in school, and I hope to continue to go further. So thank you, and I yield my mic.
Yes, and Nikia, it will. Thank you so much for that. And you are so right. about taking that time to recalibrate your mind. And it is so important. And I know I went to school after my husband, like shortly after my husband passed, and my mind is not what it used to be because I wanted to throw that computer in the trash many a day. So I understand the challenges. I truly do. But you ladies, all of you are gems. All of you are an intricate piece of the puzzle that the Lord has purpose for us to do and to be. And your stories just exude that. And you are doing so many magnificent things. And you are pressing forward. You all are single parents. You all are lovers of the Most High. You all love him. You all depend on him, which is a great attribute as well. And you all are accrediting your support. You have so much in common in the fields that you're in, are fields that's needed right now, here and now. And it's like, it's so important to get people to understand that you can do it. Don't set limitations on yourself. You are living, breathing testimonies right here, the four of you, that you could press through, you could overcome the challenges because you are human. You're going to feel some kind of way every once in a while and maybe want to throw in the towel and give up, but y'all didn't do it. You got back up and kept moving. And that is so important to see. And you guys have to give yourselves a pat on the back. I know you ladies are all humble, but you really do. I'm going to give you, the credit. Glory be to God that you all have that passion. You all have that press. You all have that drive. And you all are, beautiful, young mothers doing your thing and keeping it moving. And I can't wait to see what the Lord has in store for all of you, each and every one of you. And I know you guys better be back. Don't leave me hanging just because you was on one show. But I talk to all of y'all all the time anyway. So you keep me abreast of everything that's going on because I can't wait to share more positive stories from you. I love y'all and I thank you for being a part of this. I thank you for being a light in dark places for people. It's truly appreciated. And I did anybody have any last words or anything? Because if you want to connect with us, just reach out to me, text, and if I have y'all permission, I'll exchange phone numbers or whatever between you guys. And of course, for the guests and the audience, if you have any questions, please subscribe, like, and comment. And I will make sure to it. I know the ladies will be looking at it too, that they can answer anything as well. But any last words before we conclude this show on this afternoon?
I
Yes,
just
thank
want
you.
to say that listening to everybody's story is really heartfelt. And there is definitely a connection, an emotional connection where not just me, but I believe a lot of other young single Black women, and not even just Black women in general, are going through similar situations that we went through and really don't know where to start. And it's not a place of knowing where to start, it's just knowing what our worth is and being able, one thing, listening to everybody's story, I heard everybody give credit to somebody else or a family member or the community about support, but we didn't even give enough credit to ourselves. And at the end of the day, when you think about it, we are problem solvers, because before we can even rely on support, if we do have that support, right? Because everybody don't have it, we had to be able to sit down and come up with a plan about how we going to take that first step so that we can put that plan into motion to get to actually where we are today. So like Tammy said, like, give yourself a pat on the back, because I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. We're busy being a mom, we're busy being a wife, we're busy being an employer, we're busy being a pillar in the community, and it's just so other many things that we have going on, we're trying to please everybody else, and we forget that we still have to take care of ourselves at the end of the day. So just kudos to you guys, man. I love it. And thank you, Tammy, again, for giving us this platform and being able to share our stories, because this may help other people. I pray that it do, help other people. And like you said, if anybody have any questions, just please reach out. I'm definitely, hopefully can be a voice of reason or somebody's motivation one day.
Amen. And Shannon, you had something to say too?
Honestly, Kyesha said a mouthful right there. I was going to say pretty much the same thing. Like whatever vision you have for yourself, not knowing where to start, that's okay, because apparently we've all been there where we were like, how am I going to get this started? But the point is to not give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on God. Don't give up, because there is a lot of moving parts involved in whatever you decide to get in. But take your time, decide on it, but don't think for 1 second, I can't do it. Don't tell yourself you can't do it. Just try it first. If it doesn't work, regroup, figure out the next way to get in there, but don't not start. Amen. And thank you, Auntie, for having us on here too. Yes, I wanted to thank you too.
You are most welcome, my love. Stefany, did you have anything to say?
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity, and just hearing everybody's story is very encouraging and empowering. And I pray that our stories just gets a hold of individuals, young women that may be struggling. I'm definitely, one thing that I forgot to say is that, like, down the line, I would like to encourage the youth also, to speak to the young women that just needs that guidance, just that little push. So I really pray that this message gets to, somebody that could be struggling. But I wanted to say thank you also for the opportunity.
You're welcome, my sweet darling. And Miss Nikia, last but definitely not least, any closing words?
Yeah, I just feel that, when women come together, we empower each other. It's just a great evolution. We face a lot of challenges. We suffer sometimes by self-sabotaging ourselves. But in spite of those things, we have this overcoming spirit that brings us together in unity. And so, anyone that is on their journey or questioning if they should start their journey and their education, please do. And do not shut down and be embarrassed to ask for help, you know. And so that's all that I have. I enjoy being on this platform, and I look forward to the next one. So thank you, Tammy.
Oh, you are most welcome, darling. Amen. Amen. And thank y'all all. I love you. Y'all are here. And I'm so proud of each and every one of you. It's just a beautiful thing. And this concludes our show in the loft on today. So I would just like to say, remember to hold on to those dreams, and with unwavering faith, continue to live it. Bye-bye for now.